everybody, welcome back to Dave's Garage 249. Hey, the last video that I put out, I kind of talked extensively about how, I don't know, annoying looking to me this is the fuel line setup off the back of the tank. It's a 12-gallon cell, and I want black fittings, and as you can see it kind of sticks out kind of far there, but I needed a shutoff valve to be able to change the filter. So I ordered from Raceflux some fittings, and I'll show you what I got. They arrived today. It only took about 3 days. Raceflux is always right on time. These are some of the fittings I already had. I already knew that I needed the coupler. This is kind of optional. I may or may not need that, and I already had a 90-degree hose on, so I kind of, this is the stuff that came from Raceflux. This is a 90-degree elbow, and let's see what else we got. Some Dash 8 hose. And a 45-degree hose end. So I'm thinking we're gonna come out. We needed a coupler. Then we go to valve. Yeah, we go to the valve, and then we'll tie into the other side of the valve, 90 degrees, and then a 45 degree. It may wind up needing a 45 instead of the 90, but I got one of each. So that's going to be the direction. The next thing to do is to drain the tank. Okay, so to do the fuel line project, the first thing we need to do is get the gas out of here, and hopefully this is kind of a neat way to do it. I don't know if you have one of these pumps, but I got this at Menards. This one's pretty cool because you can extend the length, and it'll reach the bottom of one of these. The other one I have won't do that, so anyways, let's pump the gas down. Get this down in the tank there. And let's flip her on. And there we go. I hear it loading up. This is a 12-gallon cell, but I go through fuel pretty fast on this thing, and a couple trips through car shows and whatnot. We'll see how much we get out of it. Then the rest of it I can drain from the bottom. If it's just a gallon or two, I'll just put it into a pan. These things work pretty good. I like them. I like them a lot. All right, next step is to take the fuel line off. I'm going to take it off up near the pump, which is up in this area here. That way I have good control because it's kind of uphill. And then I'm going to drain that into this pan. Then I can drain the rest of the tank off because I have a valve on the outlet side of the tank. And I can just open and close that and drain that off to get this tank drained out and ready for fuel line changes. All right, let's get up here and get this fitting off. Hopefully my big old pumpkin head isn't in the way. Loose. Probably going to drain the pump out too. That's all right. So, And now, swing the camera around this way. Let some of the gas out. And you can see right there it's going into the pan. Still getting quite a bit. I'm going to try to control this. Plus, I don't want fumes in the garage that much. So that's how we're going to go about doing that. And then I can just take this fitting off here, this one off, and I have the whole hose out of there, and I'm ready to build my new setup. What I've got is I've got replacement union here that'll be black, and then this valve here I'm going to replace with a bigger valve, and that will be 90 degrees. It'll run parallel with the back side of the tank. I'll show you. Cheesy beats. Looks like I got about 9 gallons out of there, so 3 gallons burned. It was full the last time I went to a car show, so I burned about 3 gallons loading, unloading off the trailer, driving around the car show. Just general letting it sit and idle and warm up and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, we'll hold on to that. I'll filter it before I put it back in the tank. So the next question is arranging these fittings. Here is a inlet filter. This is 100 micron. Comes from Evil Energy. Now, I don't get any paid or any gifts or anything. I just talk about the products that I find useful. But I had a 40 micron pre-filter ahead of the pump, and this is a 100 micron, but it's got a nice big element in it. And it also is all -8. Nice part about these filters is they come with a -6, -8, and -10 fittings, so pretty versatile. Also clamps that if you want to mount this on a frame rail, it's got some nice clamps that mount. I sure would like to use them because they look cool, but it's just not going to work out because of this shield around the gas tank and then the location of the pump. So the decision is going to be also, you got to consider that the wheelie bars line up with these grooves here, so we don't want any potential of the wheelie bars ever pinching the fuel line. So there's a few things to consider. So one of them is doing it like this. Come out here, 90 degree hose end, and go up to the pump and come out from underneath here, and I can put like some kind of a support clamp. But this is a lot of weight here to have on these fittings, and the potential for it to swing down under its own weight is pretty good. So gonna think about that. And then the other option is this: mount the fuel filter here, but as you can see, because this is a kind of a fatter fuel filter, this is the wheelie bar is going to be right next to the filter. There's a potential there for interference, which I wouldn't want to have, but that is reasonable to my light just ran out. It makes it reasonable to have the weight supported here and not have it move, and kind of split the weight, and then your hose end over here. But I'm going to have to 45 it down, or I'm going to have to come down and go around, which makes a trap. But I can angle it down, and but still you're going to wind up with kind of like a trap here. So I'm going to go with making a support bracket and mounting the filter here. That's what I think I'm going to do. So this is once again where when you buy something that's already been built, and you have to work around what somebody else did, unless you want to just completely gut the thing and start over again, which I'm not gonna do. So next scene, which we're in right now, I'm gonna just about backtrack on everything that I've been saying about converting this over. And here's what I'm gonna do is I'm coming out of the tank. I've got my shutoff valve. I'm gonna have a 45-degree hose end. Then, contrary to what I just said in the last scene about mounting the filter, I'm gonna mount the filter with the clamp over here on the back side. This is actually back, well, it's kind of backwards, but anyways, something like this with rib nuts. And I'm gonna have a 45-degree hose end on this end, and that will complete the 90-degree transition from here to here with a nice straight shot. And then just 2 straight hose ends going from, my finger's in the way, going from there's a hose end there, and go right on up and hit the inlet side of the pump there. So I had to order more fittings, and of course this is what kind of drives the cost up when you don't know what you want to do for sure, and then you keep changing your mind. And I wound up having to order a couple extra fittings, another hose end and a couple more 45s to make all this work. So, but I use them sooner or later, so I don't mind having them. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I did some polishing on this tank shield. It's a little bit pitted, but kind of looks better than that. And I actually got a good workout from it. My shoulders are a little bit sore from polishing all that. And then while I was at it, I did this. I did some improvements around the shop. This is where I have my vise, and I got an arbor press. I'm thinking about doing something different with all these fasteners. It's kind of handy to have them there, but it eats up some bench space. But I added a shop light here. It was kind of dark over here. And then this is a great idea to have this cabinet and bench arrangement, but it rocks back and forth if you do anything like saw or do anything with a vise. So I just screwed it to the wall, to a stud there, and it'll make life a lot easier. So, and then well-lit area. And then here I already had this, but I like task lighting, local lighting, more than I do general shop lighting. So my work areas are going to be kind of well lit. And then I made a change here too. When you set your garage up, you don't know for sure what you want to do, but you place things where you think they're going to work. And then with this hood up, I have this task light here, and I've got a drop cord. But this lamp here I had way over here, and it was always, you know, it didn't light up the engine bay on either of the cars that I work on over here. So I added that. Now with the hood up, I can kind of see the engine without having to have a magnetic light. So that worked out good. So now I'm just waiting for parts. That's what I seem to do a lot of, is we don't have any speed shops in town or any place to get parts, so I have to order everything and pay shipping, which drives the cost up, but that's the way it is. So when I get parts in, we'll mount everything and go through all that procedure in the next scene. So the next thing that we got to consider is the weeby bars, the weeby bars. So I hung the weeby bar back up in there, and oh, weeby bar. You think wheelie bar? I say weeby bar. Anyways, this rivet right here that I've marked with black, that's about where I want the filter to go. So we're going to have to remove that rivet head to make it flush so I can drill the hole for the rib nut. But in the meantime, I just wanted to place that up there and make sure that the bar does not, if in the event that that bar ever moved up that far, it doesn't hit the fuel line, or it looks like it's just fine. So we got a good spot here to put the filter. So that's what we're gonna do next, is get that filter mounted. All right, we're gonna drill. Now, what I've done is I got a piece of wood in here behind where I'm gonna drill, because we got this Nalgene tank. I don't know Nalgene, anyways, this polyvinyl tank, and it would be easy to, you know, just drill right into that thing. So I like opportunities, but I don't like self-made opportunities. So if I did do something like that, though, it'd be a great opportunity to reconfigure this fuel tank, but I don't want to do that right now. So this is what we're gonna do. So let's drill. Okay, so that's the 5/16 hole, and the Rivnet recommends a 3/8 hole. So I don't know if you can see this, but I marked, there's my 3/8. And let's see. Trim it up. And the brick. That's where we're going to put the first rib nut. So here's what I was after. I'll see if I can't get this camera. Oops, that's too much. There we go. Is that kind of alignment right there for my hose. It's not perfect, but we won't have any stress or anything in the hose. See, I got one screw installed, the other one is not, and that's because I'm going to wait until I get this all lined up the way I want it before I locate this, because I may have to swing this back and forth a little bit to get everything kind of like no load or tension on the hoses. So now I can establish the length of this hose, cut it, and install these hose ends. When cutting hose, this is the weapon of choice right here. I use it on steel braided, and I like it on these nylon braided. You don't get the nylon sticking out and going bone deep into your fingers. So I just cut it, get it kind of lined up, and then it's curved in the vise, so I just kind of square it up by eye with the radius here, and then just give it a cut. So you can see it's a pretty clean cut. I wrapped it with some electrician's tape, and that was more or less to mark it, but this will start right in. The beauty of the race flux fittings is that they're left-hand thread inside that collar, and you just screw them on, and then take a screwdriver, round this out a little bit. I'll show you. And use some assembly lube or something, oil, some kind of lubricant, and they go right together. So let me see. Yep, left-hand thread. So you go into an unscrew direction. Screw that in until you see the end of the hose. I don't know if it'll focus on that, but when you see the end of the hose in there, that's where you stop. And I'll get some assembly lube. Okay, you just put a little bit on the just wipe it around. This aids in getting that fitting to slide down in the hose. Get started. They have a nice generous taper on there, so the hose end starts real nice and easy. And I'm already getting it in there by hand. And then I have AN fitting jaws for my vise. And we'll mount that hose right in there. Actually, I'll do it on the end. Like so. And I'll be right back with a wrench. We'll just put her together. Now one thing that's a good idea is to watch the hose on the metal and the steel braided hoses. You see this more, it will tend to walk that hose back out. Sometimes you need to put a mark on there to make sure that it didn't, or to see how much it did. So I'm just kind of looking down and making sure that this hose isn't moving back. But usually on these race flex fittings, that doesn't happen. Now, what I recommend is don't close this up, the collar up to the fitting here. Don't close that up. You want to see a little bit of a gap there. That way, if you get it installed and you think you can make an adjustment, you have a little bit of room to adjust. Now, this is suction side, so we're not going to see any pressure. What we're going to see is vacuum. So the only thing we don't want to do is suck air. Okay, we'll do the other end. I've gone through the process of putting the collar on and lubing. So we'll just screw this in there. The only thing that I'll have to do is make sure that these line up 180 or parallel with each other. Which is why I talked about leaving a little bit of gap there between the collar and the fitting. I guess some people might call that a ferrule. So we'll go about one more full turn. And then we'll do our alignment. It looks pretty good. Now we'll go over and see how well it fits. Should fit pretty good. Okay, fit up is perfect. Also, now what I wanted is I wanted a little bit of tension. If you don't want to, when you tighten the fittings up, you don't want to pull and put this into a pull stretch. What you'd rather have is a little bit of compression. And it looks like that's kind of what I got. So that will work perfectly. The next one to build is the one that goes from the outlet side of the filter to the inlet side of the pump. And I can make that one just a little bit longer than what it needs to be, so not too long so it kinks, but you just don't want any strain in the hose, and I will build that I guess you already seen how I build these hoses, so you don't need to witness all that. And so that'll be the next thing, and then put some fuel back in the car and check for leaks, and also tie this end of the pump down. I'll install another riv nut, and then I'm going to get some nice chrome button head quarter 20s to finish that out with. That's just that was just something that was available to put this together with, and that'll be changing that fuel line out. Long drawn out process because I had to wait for parts because I couldn't make up my mind how I wanted to do it. But what I wanted in the end is I wanted something that looked kind of like it was a little bit engineered or built from the ground up, and I think that I accomplished that. Plus I have my shutoff valve, I have a 100 micron filter here, and then at the forward end of the car, that's where you put your 10 microns is on the pressure side to protect the carbs. So what we're doing is we're protecting those phenolic plastic veins in that pump with this filter, and we got plenty of volume, so we should not cause too much of an issue with head pressure on that pump. So that's the deal there. So thanks for watching. I think I'm gonna cut the video off here, and I'll take a shot of it when it's finished in the next scene at the end of the video. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I always use more subscribers. I know that the market's flooded with all these guys doing all this kind of stuff, and I'm not big and fancy, but I like to share kind of what I've been doing and how I go about doing things on my cars with you, and I appreciate you watching. And if you just subscribed, thanks for subscribing.